Hey everybody, and welcome back. Let's just make sure that we are recording. We are doing very well on that. We're good. So let's go ahead and finish making this mixture up. There's alcohol right there. Okay, we have water, and we've had neem oil, and we have, but it won't let us do it because it says whoa. Alright, the only thing I can think of that I have in my inventory. No. I don't think so. Because it has the ashes in it. Let's go ahead and open this. I just don't want to go too far down there because I don't want to get... because the bugs are probably down there. Alright. Alright, so here's another puzzle. And right now I have no idea what it means. What's this right here? Alright. There was one more document I know that I found earlier that I need to reread. I actually found it earlier in another video, but since I didn't have my lantern out or my flashlight out, it didn't register for me seeing it. You can't jump over the fence. There we go. A half-frozen barrel. Owner, Carl Paleo, Wellsmith Daily, journalist and writer. All of the clues I've gathered through 3 months about the notorious cult Children of Dis, we need to underline that probably, have led me to this old and depressing town called Arkham. I'm sure I will find what I expect to find here. His town has a really suffocating atmosphere. I think it would be this town, but this town has a really suffocating atmosphere with all those narrow streets, old buildings, and some very strange statues and carvings spread near and far. I've been here for 6 days now, and I've never seen the sun shining brightly even once. I know it's autumn now, but there is something strange here. Even the morning hours are darker than they should be. This is just a place where dark and light don't seem to differ much. I bet psychological problems and suicide rates are pretty high. Art came into this small but very old town with a surprising number of blood-chilling tales of witchery and sorcery told about its history. When you leave the town center and its peculiar howling wolf statue to delve into the streets, you feel like you were going back in time. As you proceed, the buildings get older and older, and until at last you reach its border at the oldest part of all. Strangely, I learned that this section is under quarantine and no one is allowed to enter. There are a few police officers around, but they won't tell me anything about the quarantine. This situation seems curious to me, as there aren't nearly enough precautions normally taken in such crises. In the section I could visit, most of the houses are damaged and empty, as are the streets. Some of the houses are still inhabited, but even those are in such poor condition it seems they might break down any minute. I know the deserted houses hide secrets of olden times when sorcery prevailed here. And I feel unseen eyes looking down at me from the glassless windows when I walk through that area of the cult that Ira Bergen and the others met in his cabin are a part of. I know they are very dangerous and have a lot of followers around the world who are doing some strange research for the cult. Some letters I've read in the cabin offer clear evidence of this. Not what I'm going to underline. Alright. Now he won't see anything about the quarantine. Town. I've settled in an old inn named Camp Horrorhood Inn and immediately started my research because I don't want to stay here long. The townsfolk seem rather unusual. I've seen personally that they can be hostile to strangers, just as I was wondering about beforehand. You can always find someone to talk to if you offer the right incentive. I managed to find a drunk named Joseph. I mustn't forget to learn his surname with the help of a bottle I bought. Even though he is not a reliable source, some aspects of what he told me do fit the information I've gathered already. I've learned that the history of this town has always been mixed with terror. Child abductions, strange rites done at even stranger places, unidentified shadows wandering through the narrow streets in the dead of night, undetectable voices from the sewers below, and a cult whose origin dates much farther back than the town itself. It may be of many names, but they call themselves Children of Dis. In all these myths and stories, there are subtle clues to suggest that the area, including the town and nearby forest, is the cradle of the cult. Some believe that in certain places, especially in the woods, the underground is a honeycomb of tunnels and passages that lead to an even deeper antediluvian underground city. On the surface, there are places supposedly connected to these underground tunnels and passages, and the cult is trying to possess these places. There is a shack out in the forest, and I believe the building is one of them. I will go search in a few days, but I must gather more information first. There are some people who claim to see light in the windows of that shack, and I've heard of a quiet group of people doing something unholy there. One anecdote in particular stands out. A middle-aged woodcutter returning one afternoon from... Alright. Middle-aged one, I don't think there's anything else in here. Maybe at the shack. The old building in the forest glade could be important. I should go and have a look. So I'm thinking this note might have been somewhere else and they changed it in this version because we're already at the old building in the forest. A middle-aged woodcutter returning one afternoon from work swears he heard very loud buzzing sounds accompanied by human screams coming out. He says at the time he believed the sounds were coming from underground, but he couldn't find any opening that might lead to it, so he presumed what he heard was just his imagination. Other woodcutters have said that when the wind is blowing away from the shack, it carries an odor smelling like some kind of incense that has a numbing effect on the person who inhales it. It's probably the mixture. I asked a few townspeople if they know anything about this group, and learned that they live in the oldest part of town, in houses no one else would want to live in. They rented some places there, some of which don't even have electricity. 3 or 4 of them, nobody exactly knows their number, come to town center at regular intervals and get something from the train station that the train has delivered. They sometimes have a drink at the inn while they're here. Nobody tries to speak to them because everybody in town hates or fears them. One of the locals told me that a particular vision with a fake-looking short coal-black beard, who seems superior to the others, visits the pharmacy every time he's here, and he leaves with big boxes full of strange chemicals he ordered earlier. I am sure there must be some kind of laboratory in that shack. I've seen so-called laboratories before, and I know what disgusting things take place there. I must be extra cautious when I visit. I wonder who this man is. If he has control of the others, I should be cautious of him. Alright, let's do it. I think this is the only last thing that might actually be something. No. Alright, let's go back in the cabin for a second and see if we can find anything to put the water in. I've heard there's a spray bottle somewhere and it's been moved in the director's cut version, so I'm wondering if we just can't get to it yet until we go underground, and that's what you probably put the water and stuff in. Now let's go check back on Henry, maybe, because Armor said something about delivering something to Henry, but I don't remember what it was. But I'm gonna have to go check that. And again, thank you for all the tips. I really appreciate it. Alright, I'm not seeing anything. A tombstone. Colonel Nehemiah Derby, 1646 through 1719. This is so old. What is a tombstone doing here? Alright, let's try to combine some of these clues. That might be interesting to Henry. No. No. It looks like a lot of these clues in this game are not really used in the Howard's Mine, but it's just to remind you. So you don't like get lost. Well, let's go back to town. Which actually, I found something out you can do. I need to go ahead and do this. You can actually fast travel in this game, which is really good. That really helps out a lot.
Thank.
So there's gotta be a way to... Hold on a minute, just a second. I'll be right back. I just had to step away from the computer for a second. Well, there's gotta be a way to figure out how to figure out that code. Is there anything we can deliver to Henry that we have now? Let's go try to use a few things, see if it'll let me use anything on Henry. Oh, that's not gonna work. I just want to see if it lets me use anything on him.
Thanks, Henry.
It doesn't glow. Oh my, I can't believe I didn't think this earlier. I thought the name Drayden sounded familiar. It's Christopher T. Drayden from the first game. It just hit me. Because he was mentioned, but he wasn't mentioned as much as like a lot of the other people. I wonder if the stones somehow have something to do with the symbols. Nope, that paper's nothing. Well, there might be something else I missed in the cabin because the first time I came in, I missed at least quite a bit. That just says it's the smelly bed. That's nothing. Alright, let's look at... Where'd it go? Okay, there are no symbols on that, so I don't see how that could be anything for the... I think you just have to come up here and wait until you hear him close the door. If you otherwise you try to move, it fall through. So let's just... Or not, I didn't even move that time he fell through. Alright, we're almost out of time, so let's just check up here and then that'll be it. Let's try and move. Yeah, that time, it always seems the first time he goes up he falls, and the second time he goes up he closes the door. Unless there's like one particular book in here that... Okay. One last thing I want to check. The Urgerich is a series of 16 different magical symbols drawn over a circle, resembling the compass rose. East is red, north is white, west is black, and south is yellow. There is no single order for them. Different symbols are different used to use different protection. Aha! Aha, hee hee, ho ho. Go down the stairs, Slick. I was gonna have to go down this ladder this time, pretty much. Alright. So, let's try and... I don't know if this will work. I have an idea. What, 16 symbols? Maybe... No, actually, you don't have to be crouched to do it. 1, 2, 3. Definitely not 16, but that might be part of the solution. Now, what I'm going to try to do is... This is the last thing I'm going to try before we end the video. Okay, is there anything that we can... No, this won't work. I don't think I can use this here. So what I was thinking is, we somehow get a bright light source on some of these rocks, and it might show a symbol. Let's try like 1 or 2 more rocks just to make sure that... No. So that's it for today, or at least for now. I'll probably do one later today, actually. But we'll see what we can figure out. And until then, peace out.